Okay, so this video is going to be about what's called complete performance in contract law. So I'll put that on the screen. Doctrine of complete performance. Now there is a case on this, and the case involved a sailor who was contracted to work on a voyage, a very long voyage, and he actually died en route. The case is Cutter versus Powell, and after dying on the journey, only shortly before the ship arrived, his estate was not able to receive any money at all because he had not completed his part of the contract, and this is called the doctrine of complete performance. Now there are you cannot take this as at face value. There are lots of aspects to this, but this is just the very sort of basic principle and from which we would start. And there are lots of other aspects to do with partial performance, that's to do with substantial performance, which I will look into in subsequent videos. But this is especially relevant in areas, for example, building work. You might say to a builder, I want you to build a new archway, and he might build all the archway and just leave one little part not done. And you might say, well, you haven't completed your part of the contract because you didn't build the entire archway. Well, you know, obviously under those conditions, it wouldn't be very reasonable for the law to say, well, the builder should get nothing when he's already done 99% of all the work. So there are conditions for this, and I'll go into those in a subsequent video, but I just want to start with the basic principle. This is a very old case, 1795, and the reason why the court made that decision is that at the time the business on the sea was absolutely vital to the economy of the country, and the court was concerned by making a provision here that a sailor could get part payment. What would actually happen is people would jump ship and they would get to a port somewhere en route. The ship might put in for some, additional supplies, and if the sailors knew they were going to get half the money, they might all just leave. So the court had to send a clear message that you had to complete the entire contract, because obviously once the ship's at sea, it would be very difficult for the captain and the owners of the ship to recruit more sailors. So it would be necessary for the sailors to feel that they were obliged to stay on the ship for the entire journey. Obviously in the case of Cutter, he actually died, so there wasn't much he could really do about it, but that was the reason for the judgment, and it's part of law, so it's an important one to understand.